Okay, hello everyone. At our next panel, Silence is Golden, which can tell a lot, because silence mostly can tell a lot. But we will be talking mostly about the challenges that smaller managers and booking agents and promoters have in evolving music industry landscape, highlighting issues such as, I don't know, making tours or cancellations of the artists and stuff like this. So I have five experienced people here with me. I would like to shortly introduce you, just myself, so we don't lose much time. So starting from my left, we have Marina Pommier from Ziget Festival at Latest, where you work at World Music Stage, actually Global Village for the past few years. Then we have the local guy, Vladica Mladenovski, or Grga, so working here at MKC, also organizer of the festival Zdravo Mladi, which we can read all around the place if we want our wireless. Francis de Souza, organizing as world music booker for many venues and also doing festivals. We have Radek von Bronikovski from Berlin, and my friend from Slovenia that we just met today, because we live in the same city, Bogdan Benigar, working for Druga Godba, which is a big world music festival in Slovenia. So I would like to go straight to the point, and since I'm here as a replacement for cancellation speaker or moderator of the panel, let's talk about this, because it was quite easy to do like an exchange today when we find out, okay, the guy can't come, Teshki is here, he is also a comedian, so he can speak. That's quite important. But how is it in music? Is it so easy? And maybe if we start with Ziget, which from my knowledge is now, it's the biggest festival where I also worked with some of my bands in the past. How is it with you? If you have cancellation of the artist, how big is the problem really? Because I did reggae festival in Slovenia, and when we had cancellation of the main act of the night, people thought that it was our fault. So how do you deal with that?
Actually, to be very honest, it's very difficult because I never had this case.
Oh, right.
Really, to be honest, really. No, probably it happens on the main stage, and then it's of course a big problem. But I don't really remember, and I'm working for Ziget since 23 years, and like cancellations on the main stage, I don't think ever really happened. Being late or having problems with computers starting later and so on, we do have. But then the contracts are so well, shaped, and actually I think we don't even, the stages, different stages have different contracts, because of course it's not the same thing on the main stage or on a smaller stage. It's not the same effect or whatever. So I know that, for example, at Ziget you cannot overlap 23 hours. At 11 o'clock you have to finish because we have big problems with the sound. Yeah. And then if you don't stop, there is like each minute you have to pay. Okay. So there are those kind of things in the contracts. I mean, for example, on my stage, I don't have this kind of contract. Of course, it's much more cool. And I guess I'm very lucky because I never had any cancellation in my whole career, even on other festivals. But anyway, if it would happen, I mean, there are all clauses in the contracts that said, then, of course, either it's the fault of the artist, and then the artist has to give back some money if they were, and then either it's not his fault, and then it's vis maior, and then it's also covered in the contract. So I mean, the most important is what you put in the contract, I guess.
Okay, I would have the same question also for you, is because you have smaller events, so maybe it's not.
Yeah, well, I've got smaller festival, so with bands that are really not that known, and mainly the festival is also free. So we had a cancellation once, but because of visa problems, the band couldn't do a tour. They were denied visa, but that was clear, I think, 2 weeks before the festival, or 10 days, something like that. So in that case, you just look around for replacement in another country or in Holland, or you have to communicate it well, but actually, there was no problem. Also because it's a free festival, so people are there, okay, there's another band. Yeah, so in this case, there was no problem, and also the contracts. Yeah, we have contracts with bands, but in this case, you can't do anything. You can't tell them. So. Yeah.
Bogdan, how is it with Druga Godba when it happens like this? Because you mostly have one band per night, or?
No, it's not only one band per night. It's depends, but it's at least two. Druga Godba, actually, we were pretty lucky. Like now, 32 years doing it. We maybe had one or two because of the illness. I had more when I was working in Sankaredom Cultural Center for jazz festival, but always only due to illness. And when you have a contract signed, it's easy to reschedule or something like that. But there were many cases when it's a different thing. The contract doesn't matter so much, I think. What matters is if the contract is confirmed or not. Because when it's confirmed, there's already a contract. And many times it happened that after it was confirmed, it was not confirmed anymore. Never from my side. But it had happened that when agents confirmed the gig, that then afterwards they... lucky enough, it was still in time. It was still before we announced it. So in that way, I was pretty lucky.
All right. Cool. It's great that we started with the question. It was not really a big issue as I thought it's going to be.
In Macedonia, it's quite different when we are talking. I mean, I'm doing a small shows.
Yeah.
Not really a lot of money involved, but also we are not EU, and sometimes the band they don't have Atacarne and stuff, and sometimes they are stuck on the border, so you have to call people and to pull strings to let them in and to sign some papers and stuff like this. But
so it's more saving the show that.
Yes, sort of. But luckily, this is a small country, and everybody knows everybody, so you can manage to to let them in. So this also for us, this sometimes is the issue that some bands they don't have. I mean, not the stage manager of the club stage, Zile, my friend. He is doing a metal shows. One he have like a big production with the tour bus and with everything with some I don't know which band, and they didn't let him in, so he canceled on the day. Like he have like I don't know 500 tickets for Marduk or I don't know what. But they didn't have Atacarne, so they canceled. So here, besides everything else, border is because we are not EU, Yeah.
Okay.
I think more interesting point was that what we heard, that if something is cancelled, it's always promoter's fault.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, whatever explanations you do, and if you say that they got sick, nobody believes. Artists can never get sick, They're always healthy and they always can play. And if you say it's canceled because of illness, no. Probably they didn't have enough money or they didn't sell enough tickets. That's why it's canceled. But they say the artist got sick.
Yeah, we had an issue like this. We already had artist. He made a sound check, so everything was done, and then he go to the tour bus to have a 1 hour of sleep, but then he never came out of the tour bus because probably some drug issues or whatever. But I mean, that's again what I think. We made a band just out of musicians that already were on the festival, together with all the people that work for the festival. So it was a nice reggae band with many singers playing covers and stuff like this, and people enjoyed. But then even after 2 years, people would still say, you didn't have enough money, so he didn't go on stage. You know? So like, he was here, so probably we paid. How is it in Berlin? Is it any different?
Normally people believe when artists say that they are sick. In Berlin it's different.
But that's Germany, you know? In Germany, they believe you, the people believe you what you say. In Balkans, they don't believe you what you say.
Really? Is that? Okay. Yeah. But people have also like a kind of, how to say, like, they know how to, how do you say that? No, a different thing. The main problem for me as a local promoter is like that you have the costs, you know, you're renting a venue, you know, promotion, whatever, but like even little and mid capacity venues are starting to have quite a high fee that you have to pay when the show is not happening, and this is like nobody helps you with this. Nobody. Like you have to pay that, and you are the last person. You have to pay. You don't get it back any. You know, even now if the act is coming back, it's, you know, you have to pay that. This is quite a problem. But cancellations are not that. It's not happening that often, so that's kind of okay. And when it goes to really big shows, you have the possibility to do an insurance for that, for cancellation, which is really expensive. But yeah, there's a way to avoid the really big crash. If you have a 10,000 capacity venue and the act is canceling like a week before, then you have the opportunity to have an insurance. If they pay, I don't know. Insurances are about not to pay. This is like the idea of it, I guess. But you have the possibility to sleep a bit better before. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's go maybe step back, because we started with cancellation mostly because I'm here because of cancellation, and I wanted to start at the end. But more problem. I mean, the thing that we are going to talk about at this panel should be more about how smaller bookers, which not any of you are. Looking through my eyes, because if we are booking shows in Slovenia or in Macedonia, we are small bookers, even if you are the biggest booker in the country. But if you are working for Sziget, which for me is a big festival, or working in Berlin, which is a huge cultural city. But still, if I want to book a show in Slovenia for a band that come from, let's say, Latin America or US, or even maybe from England, I need to talk to a big agency to get the band. And if I want to get the band, this band needs to be on tour, because otherwise, I mean, it's impossible to do it. It's too expensive. So, because I'm a small festival, I always need to wait that big festivals book the band, and then I book it at the end when everybody else already sell the tickets and stuff like this. So how do you find this problem? I don't know. I will start with you, because you are in the smallest booker here. But do you have
Yeah, understand you, Teshki. So we, I'm working here in Makaca as a music program, sort of like manager, sort of, I don't know. And here for the past 15 years, from 2009. And we started a small festival called Zdravo Mlade. It's happening here, outside, here on the street, or maybe in the park. We are like moving the festival almost every year around the venue. And it's like a small festival. It's like 2.5, 3,000 capacity when it's outside. When it's inside, it's like smaller even. And with the budgets that I have here in the venue, which this years are like almost zero. For this year, I got 3,000 euros for a whole year from the city support, 3,000 euros, like, yeah, for the festival and for the year program, And the thing is that I usually I wait, because when it's a routing from Ljubljana, the band want to go to Greece, they go Ljubljana, Zagreb, Belgrade, then Skopje, Sofia, Thessaloniki, and for the past 15 years, I used to work for Passport Production, Lithium Records, then from 2002 till 2009, so I gained some friends in the agencies and stuff, so, when they're routing, there some agents are calling me, hey, this band is on tour, you're interested in stuff. So for the festival, I usually aim not that big artists, like money-wise and name-wise. So I usually wait. I don't like act that much, like calling, and I send some interest, but if they are here on the Balkans, please let me know, but that's it, I'm not the player, realistically, we are Skopje, it's a small market, it's a small country, so I'm aware of it, we're not really interesting,
So you're not interested in booking a huge band?
No. No, really, no, never. When I used to work with Logan for 7 years. He started booking 50 Cent and Sugar Babes, and I was like, Logan, good luck, goodbye, I'm coming here, yeah. Ask him, where is he? Yeah, really, yeah. So I'm not interested. We did one, I don't remember, but I was reading the rider, it's like, what the, I don't remember which band, but I said, why are we doing this? No, we should not do this. And Logan continued, and he's a successful guy, and I'm here, yeah. Really, and I'm in stand-up now. Not even kidding, we're talking
Maybe next time we see
yeah.
in Ljubljana on the festival, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, of course, I get contacted by a lot of agents from everywhere. There are agents also with whom I prefer to work, of course, because also you trust them. Then usually, I know in advance, now I should know who is on tour and who is not and whom I could get. But I have to say that there are also sometimes some smaller acts that I want really to book and to make it possible, not because it's Siget that I have a big budget. My stage doesn't have a big budget. And actually, my stage won't exist anymore next year. With this budget, sometimes I really have to also myself do things. And if I really want to have a group, then I also look for other gigs around in the area, of course not too close. Sometimes I do some partnership with other festivals. So in advance, since a few years, I really do from myself, I contact some colleagues and say, okay, I would like to have this group. They're on tour, are you interested? Can we do that together? And then we can have a better fee altogether, and it's good for the artist and it's good for us. So that's also a way I'm working. It's not a lot of people doing that, but I think also more and more we have to be aware of sustainability and to have a little bit more greener tours. And if we want that, we have to organize tours which are closer. So if the agent doesn't, because sometimes I have big agents, sometimes smaller, if agents don't have the contacts to do a bigger tour, then I help them.
Okay.
Because I was also a booker and I understand what it is. And I think it's the way we should do it now.
The solution is in cooperation.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
ask others.
That's the way I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, we should all believe it. Yeah. So, druga godba. Do you wait to see which bands are on tour and then you book them for Ljubljana, or do you ask the agents first and then wait what's going to happen? Or?
It's a different direction it goes, but the most important thing is that I get offers from world music agents, jazz agents, those in between, alternative music agents and so on. But the problem is when one of the jazz or some of them, or let's say world music artists, become as popular that they go to the UK booking agency, which means a big, then you never get, in 30 years I never get any offer from any UK booking agency, which is a pop rock, which they include also. Even if I made a deal with them, like I book the artists they represent, they never after come to me to offer them again or somebody else or somebody who is similar. It's a silence. So you can get, let's say, a big African name which is in the UK. Let's say, for example, there's a band called Songhai Blues. I was interested for 5 years, been always in contact with this UK agent. She knows for 5 or even more years that I'm interested in them, but she never tells me when they will go to tour. Never. So accidentally I found out that they were going to be on tour, and maybe it happens next year in Ljubljana. But it's very interesting. And going back, it's like sometimes you have to wait because that's the only solution. You give them free dates or free date, and then you wait if that can happen. Always. It used to be that you didn't need to send an offer. They told you what they want, and then you see maybe a bit less or what, but now nobody wants to say what they want. Everybody waits for an offer. So normally you always send offer which is not good enough. And most of them, they don't answer if the offer is not good enough because they don't want to negotiate with you. They don't have time or whatever. They're not interested. So I suppose the market became much larger than it used to be. But on the other hand, it's not, because I see what is happening. It's just the way of working. And I think the new people who came into the business are much less ready to talk or communicate with people who actually were doing this, are in the business. Because when I after 30 years in business, I still think when I talk to younger people in UK that I'm a newcomer. They treat me as I just started the festival. I mean, they never go into either in the way of being respectful to each other in the same business. It's just about money, or because in my generation of programmers and booking agents, it feels like we are a community. And that's why we can do a lot of things and over the years. But it seems now that this community is not as it used to be with the new generation.
So you think that instead of being a help, UK agencies are actually a wall for us?
Yeah, and hearing the panel before, Balkans,
yeah.
I mean, it's like, that's even further than I don't know, India.
I think for like it's absolutely right what you said, but I think like for an UK agency, if there wasn't in the last 30 years the case that you send an offer to an UK agency and they say, oh, okay, that sounds reasonable. Never, never. It's always, that's way too less. You have to, top it. It's always.
So you do have the
that's
same
why
problems in Germany. So you do have the same problems in
Yeah,
Germany.
yeah.
It's just
UK agents, it's always like that. That's not enough. Come on, are you kidding me? Blah 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 blah. You can send whatever. You can, just type in something and they say no, it's not enough. it's like that.
You start with 500.
Yeah, €1.
I hope I will not lose the gig after this panel. Because I mentioned it.
because it's online.
Maybe
you know.
she's online. Yeah.
It's online, yeah.
Cool. And Netherlands, the same problem? You working with UK or?
I myself am not working with UK, no, because my festivals are small.
Okay.
So I work with the local promoters, which are sometimes linked to UK agents. But I work with smaller agents, and it works well. So I don't have the problem, because I don't do big bands. I always try to get edgy, weird things. So yeah, it's music that it's easier to get. Yeah.
Cool.
I forgot to say that when I was talking about different directions, actually for next year I was not waiting, and I wanted a band, which I wanted that band. And I knew that if I offer only Ljubljana, it was not going to happen. So I found a partner in Belgrade. So we made an offer for 2 concerts. And then they agreed, and now it's even, it's going further. It's going to be Skopje as well, and probably Sofia. So it's sometimes it's also possible that you get someone, even if it's a kind of star artist already, that it's possible to create something in the area, especially if they haven't been there before or they wanted to go there, and that you have to make some research about that. You call the label or something like that, that you found out before that they are interested, so you don't lose time. And it's also would be good, vice versa, that the booking agents do some researches sometimes to see first what the promoters are doing and not sending them offers which will never be accepted. But you have to study some programs and so on. There's a lot of wasting time, I think, in the communication, because people don't make research what actually promoters do, or also on the other side. So it would be much easier and faster to do this job if that's done before you communicate someone.
So you mentioned already that when you talk to UK agents, even if they are very young and you're working for 13 more years, but they would still think you're a newcomer. How do you feel about it? Is it ever, I don't know, did you ever say, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna quit this because,
No, I wouldn't quit, but because of one asshole in London. If I may say so. No, I mean, I mean, in the end, you're there because you're not doing this only for yourself, because you're doing this for the audience, and the audience, what they would like to hear, what would like to see. So it's a bigger responsibility just to, okay, my ego is hurt and blah blah, and maybe you just go for one whiskey and then you're fine. And then you find a way how to do it, or if they don't answer, then it doesn't happen. I mean, and then maybe somebody else come and try. It's a possibility to this artist will still come to play like in Ljubljana, even if I don't do it, somebody else can. But yeah, I think you should never quit, really. I mean, just because it's a bad communication, you still have to find a way. I mean, it's not like it's not a war, right? It's we still communicate about one of the best things which could happen. That's music.
But did any of you ever try to, I don't know, avoid the, I don't know, UK agency, or try to book the band directly? And
It's not a good idea to book bands directly, anyway. I think it depends on the band. If you know very well the band and you know it's a newcomer and so on, maybe I would do that, of course, with Hungarian bands. But, and actually I don't work with UK agents most of the time. Maybe there is one or two, because in world music they don't really have bands. They don't really do world music in the UK. So the market, their market is not interesting for me. And anyway, there would be another agents, mostly I would say the most active agents in world music are French agencies. They have much, much more groups. And then sometimes I have to work with German agencies because they think they have the Eastern European territory, which I really hate because most of the time they don't do the work. But yes, I'm very direct. And I do work actually also with Francis, for example, because it's very nice also to work with agents that you know, and you know that things are going to happen like you want. And you know, also we probably have the same taste, and we can, I mean, if I really want to have a Dutch act, I would ask Francis, what do you think, what we should do, what is working, or Francis or his colleagues, of course. Yeah, and we know each other since quite a long time, so we can trust each other. It's a small family. But you wanted to say something, Bogdan?
You know, I just want to comment that you said they don't have a lot of world music artists. They don't have a lot of world music artists because there is no world music artists.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
so
just
very
artists
few.
they think they're interesting, maybe from I don't know, Indonesia or I don't know, which becomes popular, or they are newcomers, which and they present music which is global or to be compared with artists in London or Paris. So in that sense, it's interesting for them to have them in their rosters, so not so specialized. I think even in the future there will be no, even now, but I don't think in 5 years there will be any specialized booking agents. It's going to be just agents which are interested in certain kind of presentation of music and trying to find artists which are original and be able to be sell to promoters or concert organizers.
Okay, sometimes it happens that you book a band through I don't know, regional management, and then the band change the management, or they move, I don't know, booking to a bigger booking agency. Did this happen to any of you? Because it usually means band gets more expensive, band gets I don't know, they want everything from the beginning, you know, so even if you had a contract before, it doesn't work anymore because now we have new management. Any of this?
I mean, if you did a show with a band and then they changed the management, and then you're mostly out because they work with other local promoters or booking agencies or whatever. So this is like you mainly, yeah, it's really it's not like, yeah, it doesn't happen like really often that they say, hey, you did the last show, so yeah, let's do another show, because you did this like 2 or 3 times, and then no, I think that's, yeah, mostly you're out, and that's how it works then normally. And it's not how you say, it's not a big issue, because when you also they change and then you are doing the show before in the last shows you haven't done with the band. So this is you know, it's 2 sides of the medal. Yeah. So yeah.
I guess it depends if the group really wants to come back. I mean,
yeah, but they
I
don't
never
care
had this
about
problem,
you
of
as
course.
a local promoter. You know, for me, I can say how I, yeah, my reality, and they don't care if you know. So, yeah.
I was talking more about if it happens in between, you know. So like you book the band.
Ah, okay, yeah.
I don't know, 1 year before the show or something like this, and then in this 1 year, a lot of things can happen. Like band becomes bigger, or band becomes recognized by a new agency which they from always wanted to be part of, and then everything changed in between. Did any of you have?
That's always a bit trouble then, yeah.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, new ideas and like new visions and so sometimes that's a pain, yeah.
I had experience with an artist who lost or who fired manager on the tour
Yeah.
and ended up in Vienna without visa for Slovenia. He was an artist from Zimbabwe, but living in the United States. So in order to save the gig in Ljubljana, I have to work 2 days with friends in Vienna to be able them to get. I mean, this was still a long time ago because there was still not Schengen. So we promoters were arranging visas even on the borders at 90s and so on. I did a lot of that for Yusundur, for example, and many others, waiting them at the border and arranging the visas with the police. So yeah, it happens, but then it's up to you. Are you going to save the gig or you just cancel it? I mean, in my case, the festival is small, so if you have 10 or 12 international artists, you lose one, and you have only 2 per night, like in main stage, it's a problem. It cannot happen, so you have to do whatever. So I lost 1 day of my own festival. I didn't see it because I was working on visas for this artist. Ended up in Vienna.
Yeah, luckily Slovenia is so small, you can always go to the border with your car.
Well,
Cool. Login asked me to talk about mental health as well, which I think he thought that about that, you know, when you get lost in the situation and how you deal with this, you know. You mentioned before you take a shot of whiskey and you move on, you know. But did any of you have experience with this other ways, you know? Was it when, I don't know, you lose the show, you lose money, you lose artists, you lose whatever? Did you ever experience?
I'm totally opposite of that. You know, like nowadays, people are talking about mental health and stuff. When I was younger and when I was like doing this like 20 years ago, I was way more stressed and like I was caring more. Now I don't give up. Like I have a life lesson from Rogerino. I did a show here in the gallery. There was a restaurant here and they got a piano. And we put the piano in the gallery, and he played, Rogerino, the brother of Brianino, yeah. And we called the guy to tune the piano, and he tuned the piano, and before the show, it was a show for 100 people in the gallery. And a pen dropped on the strings, and I was like he couldn't like get it off. I was like, don't worry, it's like, no one will notice that it's not tuned. We are not, what he said? He said like, we are not driving an airplane, you know, like no one's gonna die, you know, like if the show is canceled. I don't have these problems these days, like with mental health and burnout and stuff. I don't know. I used to have them when I was younger. Okay. Since Loginescu, yeah.
So when you were working with him.
No, same. You know, when I was younger, you know, sometimes it's, you know, you're stressed, but now I'm, you know, I'm an older guy, you know, so I think, you know, yeah, there are much more things that can happen, you know. So I just keep calm always. I can be stressed from the inside, of course, when I'm very busy, you know, because I have 3 or 4 hats on, you know, venue, festival, agent, whatever, you know, all things together, and you have to think. Sometimes you have to keep on, you know, doing 6 things at the same time. So, but still I sleep well. Still, you know, yeah, of course I have a drink to relax a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I think, I guess, yeah, me too. The age is helps, yes, a lot. I'm very stressed actually. Usually, I run everywhere, and I I don't eat. I forget to eat sometimes. Most of the time, that's what happens. I just, well, it's night and I haven't eaten anything. But I think, of course, our work is stressful in a way, but after all, we just, it's all deadlines, that's right. And then, okay, you can also be disappointed and everything, but then you just start again and start again. I think we're a little bit, I think it's like I'm also a little bit workaholic somehow, and you just cannot stop.
No, but you get energy from good concerts.
Exactly.
You know, if you have, you can be like, wow, I hope everything goes well, and then, you see a good concert and people are happy and the band is happy. Now, then you're happy again, and you have energy again for the next deadline, and it goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
That's it, actually.
I have to say I'm stressed a lot, really. Like I always, my brain just, it's not just, stopping. And I have like one or two strategies, which is of course sports, which is for me, it's really, really good. I'm running quite a lot. And other strategy is like if you're like, on a computer working, on the phone, blah blah blah, and you feel that today I'm getting nothing done. It's just, So there are these days that it just doesn't work like you want to. Then, shut down, go home, and don't work. Don't try to have a good end of the day in work. Just stop it. It's done for today. So that's for me. That's like or like take a walk. Maybe go outside, take a walk, come back, try. If it doesn't work, fuck it. Today is it's done. That's for me. That's from my strategy. Or like go into other fields like. I don't know, I'm like super bad in, let's say, carpenting or whatever, but when I do it and I get shit done kind of okay, I'm way more proud of this instead of, booking this and that show. It's, this is like how I deal with it. Yeah, like other fields, that construction, whatever, gardening, whatever, just, totally something. In another field that is not related to a computer, music, blah, 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 like that,
Cool. I think this is the very important issue, and we should put it in a bit larger spectrum. I don't think it's about working environment and people, not only us, but also people we work with. And probably some of us, we probably work with much younger people. And I think what I learned in recent years, but also because a lot of illness issue in my team, which was a result of stress, that you should never ask others to do things you think you're capable doing. So you think you can be an expert and in something, that doesn't mean that people who are working with you should be also experts and do overwork like you do and so on and so on. You should never put them in position that they should work more than they should. And also, that's one thing, that's a working condition, but also where this work happens. If it's an office, I used to work in my own office, and then it doesn't matter to me how it looks. But if you work in a team, I think it's very important, and it's also according to the law that computers and all that technology around is positioned well, that there's a lot of light, there's a lot of air, and so on, so nobody collapses during the festival and so on. and then you really have to talk about a lot about that and with the team and listen to them, because the new generation have different needs, different view on working conditions and so on. So I think in that sense it's very important to talk about it all the time, just in case that you don't lose someone just because of overwork, because it doesn't make sense. So I think that's the kind of my view on it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So this is actually a question. Do you work in bigger teams, or you prefer working alone? Do you struggle working in bigger teams, like, because our festival is
No,
big?
I work totally alone, actually.
Okay.
I don't work in a big team. I work from home. I work in France, and I don't work from Hungary. And I work with the team only when the festival starts. Of course, I have people around me for the production. And now I think probably this year was the first year when I said, I didn't cover myself everything, because before I always wanted to control everything, and I realized I have very good colleagues and I don't have to control and know what is the pickup time of this artist and whatever. I don't need to have everything in my head, because I have some people to rely on, and we do the preparation, everything is fine, and if ever there is a big problem, they will come to me. But for a small problem, since only this year, actually, probably I was growing up, I don't deal with that anymore, and that's a lot less stress, because if you want to control everything, it's a lot more stress. So I work mostly alone, and I like to work alone, and it's good sometimes just to have meetings. I do have meetings, but like it's mostly on the phone or Zoom or whatever. And working with big teams, I don't know. For me, it's also difficult. I like when everybody knows what they have to do, and not too much speaking. That's too much.
Yeah, for me it's different. I work from a venue. I work alone from home. But for the festivals, I work in a team, and also for the agency, I work in a team in the office. And then we're with on a full day, we're with 10 people in the office. So, and yeah, sometimes there are people ill or whatever, and yeah, you need to take tasks from other people, So that's and you do it just because I think it has to be done. There's a deadline. You can't say you just wait for 1 or 2 weeks. No, it's not possible. It's just so then you take over. That's how it works. And I like being in teams also, because you can talk to each other, ideas or questions. If you have a question or you're thinking, is this a good way to do it? You can check directly with your colleagues instead of going on the phone or whatever. And it's much more efficient. So I like both. I like being sometimes being alone, doing my own thing, but I like the whole thing, the social thing also. That's why I'm also in the business.
Cool. I think because we don't have much more time left, now it's the time when we can ask you to ask us. So if you have any questions about the topic we are talking about, now is the time. Can we give her a microphone?
Hi, my name is Maya, and I would just like to ask you, what is the most beautiful, and on the other side, what is the most challenging being independent or alone, so not working for a huge agency or corporation, so being more on your own path, so plus and minus.
Can I? Yeah. For me personally, so for me personally, it's like the best thing is when you like some band and you book it, and it's like you have the band and it's amazing. And the challenging thing is how you wanna sell the tickets because not a lot of people know the band. So yeah, that's the challenge. Generally, yeah. Plus and minus. Thank you.
Okay.
For me, the most beautiful thing is see the public enjoying. That for me, I think we're doing this for the public. I mean, not for ourselves. So
Yes.
it's really.
So you're right. You're totally right. You're totally right. It's for the community. Yeah. On the end, yeah, when people show up.
And then,
Yes.
and the saddest is when
Yes.
you like a band very much and there is
Yes.
nobody in front of the stage and you say, why, what did I did wrong, or why didn't they come, or...
Yeah, but
You're right, totally right. Yes.
But I was proud to do it.
it is also sad when you finally book a band which you love for many years
Yeah.
and you want it for many years, and then you book it, and I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 people see it, but you're back in the office doing something else, and then you don't see the band. This is also sad. I mean, it happened to me.
No, you have to take the time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
no way. No, come
For me,
on,
never
come on,
happened,
come
yeah.
on.
Yeah. Anybody else want to?
The most beautiful is when everything goes so smoothly and there's sold out or whatever, everything's so fine that you don't need to be there. Then you go just out and have a drink and you said, I've done it again.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and if you enjoy like watching a band, and it really doesn't matter how big this thing is, even if it's crowded or not, it doesn't matter. But if you sometimes you see the bands playing, you think, okay, that's why I'm doing this. Exactly, that's like be like capable of the moment. Like yes, that's why, and on the other side, the most challenging stuff, I don't know, like it's stress, to be honest, mental health, stuff like that. It's for me, being in the end, as a local promoter, you're always the last one to, you're always, you have the costs, you have, you are doing the really a lot of work to make it happen, and that's stress is I guess the opposite of that. Yeah.
And I think mostly it's even better when you make people discover something and not, it's, it's, of course, it's a big name, everybody's coming, and so, okay, it's satisfying.
Yeah.
But when you discover something that you really like, and mostly what I'm doing is that, and this is, I think, probably much more satisfying. For example, I have a crew of young people who are photographers and internship and so on, and when I see them who probably don't listen to this music usually, and when they like it, that's for me, yes, I did something good.
Yeah, it's probably a bit easier when you're part of big festival, or you're not like
Of course, definitely.
the most important stage for selling tickets
course,
and stuff like this.
definitely.
Then you
And
can bring
that's-
artists to people just to enjoy when they're already there. Yeah.
And yeah, you can take the risk. And
Yeah.
that's the good thing about it. Yeah, of course.
Cool. Any more questions?
Hi, Bojan here from Q Records, from Kumanovo, from Macedonia. We are doing concerts in Kumanovo a lot, let's say like 30 concerts a year, 100, 150 people, small concerts. And I don't know if Marina respectfully answered for all of you guys, not working directly with the bands. We are like 50% of the bands that we are organizing directly. And there is a lot of bands that are not having booking agency behind them, great bands. And how do you find them? How do you research them without a booking agency? Because let's say from Greece, 80% of the bands we are organizing directly. From Serbia directly. From Macedonia, I don't think a booking agency there is for small bands, let's say. How do you find them? How do you talk with them? Thank you.
On MySpace.
How do you book them?
Maybe Sigurd? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's not in the majority, but I do book bands who don't have agents, and sometimes actually even, for example, Hungarian bands don't have booking agents, and they do the work themselves. It depends how the group works. I mean, there are some groups who are very good. I would say, for example, there was a few years ago, Mate from Bohemian Betyars, they do their own management and they do it very well. And they're reliable and they know the job. They have to learn the job. I mean, this is, it's not a problem for me if everything is well organized. And then how to find them? Well, there are various possibilities. Either they send me something and I am curious enough to listen to it, and either there are a lot of showcases, of course, also, and not only groups who have agents do showcases, we know here. And then also I listen, I look a lot of videos, like from KXP or whatever, any kind of chain. Actually, I would say I watch more videos than I listen to music. Or, yeah, playlists or colleagues talking about it. It's very, very various, actually, and I'm not saying I would not work with a band if they don't have an agent. Definitely not, of course.
I think if you are searching for bands with or without agents, it's very important to just go around.
Yeah.
Like the conferences like this one are really great because you can see, I don't know, 30 bands in 3 days,
yeah.
And then you see what you like, and then you try to figure out if your audience will like it too, and then you book the band. You go straight to them and do it. And then also going to other shows. If you don't have time, somebody from, of course, your friends or whatever. This is how you find the band, mostly. Because if you see the band doing it live, then you know if they're working. Because internet can many times give us wrong perspective. Because bands online can be very, very great, but then live they suck. Or the way around. So it's important to go around. It's important to make your own your own network of other organizers. Call them, hey, can I come? I don't have money for ticket, but I want to book this band maybe in future, or things like this. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I think seeing live concerts and going to showcase festivals is very, very important.
Cool, we have time for one more question, I think, in the back.
Hi, most of you know me, it's Ian from the UK, and I feel really bad for you guys on stage. I've often thought there should be a Tinder for promoters and agents. And I actually know some really nice UK agents who will call you back. So
but you're an exception, Ian.
No, well, what can I say? But one thing to tell you, the independents get exactly the same response from the bigger agents at the bigger agencies. If we're really lucky and we send an email saying, please, could you send us some information on this band? If we're really, really lucky, they go, no. In an email. Or, yes, what do you want? So just make sure, before you leave the conference today, anybody who wants to meet a nice English agent...
Don't talk to you.
I apologize. I didn't. There's a lot of really nice UK agents which are doing niche kind of things.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And also, Bogdan, I have to go to say this, man. No world music artists in England. Transglobal Underground, Africelt Sound System. I could go on, but I'm not going to. So thanks, guys. Really enjoyed the panel. And do give me your telephone numbers and Tinder profiles. I'll make sure I'll hook you up later. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah, it was more an invitation than a question. So I can still give one more person a chance to ask us something. Okay. If not, then thank you all for joining me in this nice panel. Thank you all for listening.
Thanks
I
for
hope you find
moderating.
out something new. That's it. See you at the concerts.